give you a brief overview of what designation is all about. So first of all, it does stand for Chartered Financial Analyst, and it's internationally recognized as the highest standard in the investment management industry. To become a CFA charter holder, you must pass 3 level exams. They do cover a range of subjects. It's from economics, fixed income, equities, accounting, risk management, and etc. They're each held like once a year, except for level 1. And they're pretty tough exams. They're 6 hours long between morning and afternoon. It's about 240 questions, so you have about a minute and a half per question. It usually takes half a minute to only read it. So, needless to say, very stressful. And usually the reading material for the exam, it's 2,000 pages for each one of them. And they say it takes about 300 to 350 hours to prepare properly for the exam. And after doing all that, the average pass rate for level 1 last year was 43%, and for the other levels, it's about the same. So actually, to be able to pass all 3 levels without failing one, it's less than 10% chance. So it is a pretty rigorous process, and I'm very happy to report that all our members of our senior teams do all have CFA charter holders, and our junior staff's also in the process of having this. So other than having to pass the 3 exams, you also have to have 4 years of experience that's very relevant in the industry. So you have to spend at least 50% of your time in actually investment management decision-making process. What I really like about that is people who are generally successful in going through this whole ordeal are very analytical, organized. They're able to make quick decisions, and they also can perform under pressure, which are about the same skills that you need to be successful in investment management. So currently there are about 150,000 members of the CFA Charter, which is not a lot considering the amount, like how many professionals are there in the industry. And of those 150,000 shareholders, less than 1/5 of them are women. So it's, I think, about 18%. So CFA did a survey just trying to find out why is that the case, and why it wasn't very conclusive. One of the reasons is something that Joel had mentioned previously. When you decide to pursue a career in finance, in CFA in general, a lot of people say, you know what, if you're not good in math, maybe you shouldn't go there, and a lot of women feel they're maybe not as good at math. And another really possible reason that came through was the fact that it is investment management is a profession where it is perceived that it disproportionately rewards those who work long and inflexible hours, and women generally have a lot of engagements outside of work, and especially like when you get married and have children. I'm a new mom myself, and it is stressful, but I'm grateful that I've been supported by CWB, and it's not as bad. But it's like, whereas in the past I could stay and just finish my projects until 7 and 8, now I can no longer do that. So it just adds a little bit of stress. But if this is your passion, if this is what you want to do, I think you should go for it, because there are quite a lot of women who actually are very successful in doing that. And I just want to highlight some of the benefits, because it's not only about investment professionals that can benefit from the CFA, but other financial professionals, like people who are working in the bank, corporate finance, and etc. So first of all, it's education. So I did briefly mention you have quite a lot of areas that you cover during that exam. So let's say I'm in equity investment, but going through the exam gave me an exposure to risk, to fixed income, to derivatives, and etc. So this is very beneficial. And then second, it is generally good for your career, because there are some professions you can actually not even exercise unless you have the designation. And finally, it has a really great reputation across the industry. And one really important benefit that often is not being considered, it really strains your brain. And I'm a big believer that you should be constantly learning new skills. You should just strive to go through very complex materials that you might think you might not be able to understand, but somehow miraculously end up understanding after a while. And it just exercise your brain the same way you exercise your body. It is very important. You can't stop learning just because you finish school. And a professor once told me that I had a very high respect for. He told me math is a fitness for your brain, the same way as when you go to the gym. So even if it might not be math, it might be different skills, a different language, but yeah, either go and take a challenging exam like CFA, learn a new language, learn to play an instrument, just keep learning. That's it.